What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are reading chapter 2 of Desire and Decorum. This week we are going to be reading choices because my episode is fucked up right now, and I got to get back to the point where I can get where we were in our stories. So hopefully by next week, we'll be back to reading episode. But if not, we'll just keep reading choices for a little bit. And if you guys like the choices, we can go switch back and forth between episode and choices. If you guys like some of the stories on there. But anyway, guys, if you guys don't remember what happened in the last episode, we met our girl, Miss Cinderella. Her mother was passing and dying. And we come to find out that our father, is like a very prestige high man. He's like an earl or something. And our mother hid that away from us because his family didn't like the fact that he was going to, marry and be with a poor girl. So she left. We went and lived our life in the cottage, blah, blah, blah. He didn't know where I were born. Before our mother died, he told her. And he was like, when everything happens, I want her to come live with me. So we're going to become an earl's daughter. Our best friend came with us. She is now our lady's maid. We met a cute stable boy who I want to know more about. And we also met a very pristine, I think he's a duke. Is he a duke? He might be a duke. I'm not 100% sure. But we went to the gardens with him. Still kind of iffy about him. Don't know how I feel about him 100%. But yeah, that is all there is right now. But this is like a very Bridgerton type story. So yeah, yeah, that's all there is. But where we were leaving off is our grandmother told us that our father is upstairs in his office waiting for us. So we're about to meet our father for the first time. So let's get into the tea. So let's get into the episode and see what is the tea. Y'all forgot that fast. My bad. Anyway, let's get into it. The heavy mahogany, yeah. The heavy mahogany doors of the study swing open slowly. Your father, the Earl of Wedgewater, stands up from his desk. Cinderella, let me see you. I really can't believe it's you. We get them sideburns, Lord. You drop into a curtsy, looking down at your skirts to avoid the Earl's eyes. I cannot express the joy in my heart to see you here at last. You do me great honor to have me here, my lord. Before you can rise, your father crosses the room and clasps both your hands in his. Call me father, Cinderella. We have no formalities between us. I should hug him. Step back. We'll give him a hug. He seems nice enough. You step into your father's embrace and notice the dampness of his cheeks as his arms come across you, around you. My Cinderella, I will never forgive myself for all the years we've missed. Father, it is poor symbolist of my family I can offer you here. Had I only learned of you a year ago, I wish you could have met your brother. You had a brother? I have a brother? My son, Harry. He passed away last year. Oh. What happened? He and his friends were hunting. He was thrown from his horse. Abruptly, your father turns away and walks over to the fireplace. Oh, girl, not dramatic. Father, I'm so sorry. I know I can never take his place. We ain't worried about Harry. I'm so sorry. I would have loved to known him. He was a scamp, always in trouble. He knew all he ever had to do was make me laugh, and I forget to punish him. Sounds like he needed a big sister to keep him in line. I think that would have been perfect. Harry was my only heir. His death was a loss to me more than just me. And his mother? The Countess, you have had the pleasure? Unfortunately. We met briefly, yeah. Harrieta grieves in her own way. You would lie, because she almost got hands over here. Your father shakes the thought away and picks up a piece of parchment up from his desk, and he turns to you and hands you a letter. I want you to see this before I send it. Read it. To His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales and the Right Honourable Lord Bishop of Canterbury, I, Earl Vince of Edgewater, do formally declare and recognize Lady Cinderella Duncan to be a daughter of my blood and entitled to all legal rights and recognition therefore. I am sending it out to the bishop and the prince regent today. From this day forward, you will be Lady Cinderella of Edgewater. Period. Lady Cinderella of Edgewater, it's like a dream come true. I can't. Bitch, it's like a dream come true. If I had been offered my fondest wish, I couldn't have asked for more than a home like Edgewater, a title, and a father like you. My dear Cinderella, you are getting more than a father from this. Our line has a long and proud history, and now you'll be a part of it. It's all a little overwhelming. It's not just pomps and responsibility, It's family, your family, and you're finally a part of it. Why don't you come with me to the portrait gallery and I can introduce you to some of them? I wouldn't wish to impose. I would like nothing more than to spend time together, Cinderella. Will you give me the chance to make up some of what I've missed? Oh, God. I don't think I have the gems for it. I'm literally a gem short. All right, so I just went in. And found another episode to play real quick to get 2 diamonds. So we are going to go to the gallery and learn more about our family with their dad. Wonderful. It's right down the hall here. Your father gestures for you to walk ahead of him. Of course, there are hardly all the portraits, just the ones I've chosen to display right now. You stand next to your father, gazing up at the walls of portraits in the small parlor. Richard of Caen was the first of our line. He was one of William Conqueror's men in Notre Dame, Normandy? Richard of Caen was the first of our line. He was one of William the Conqueror's men in Normandy. The king granted him these lands. Our family goes back to William the Conqueror? Rumor has it that Richard himself may have been a royal bastard. The king certainly showed him great favor, as you have shown me. Your father meets your eyes and speaks firmly. I tell you this so that you know your blood is not obstacle to anything you might wish to accomplish. Our family proves that. Thank you, Father. I won't be ashamed of who I am, but others will still judge me for my birth. I won't be ashamed. I would have wished you to be a daughter of Edgewater from the day you were born. I will be now. Indeed, Lady Cinderella. At the top there's Richard's son, Alfred, the first Earl of Edgewater. He named the estate and took his title more than 700 years ago. We have helped these lands for all that time and passed from father to son in an unbreakable line. Father, that is great responsibility. I would never be able to remember all these names. That is a great responsibility. Another reason my brother's loss was so great. And why finding you is such a blessing, Cinderella. I did not like to think that the Edgewater line would end with me. My your father turns to the other wall and smiles at the portrait of a man in the 15th century finery. Ah, this is my own namesake, Earl Vincent. He was a bit of a scoundrel, spied for both sides during the Wars of the Roses. You're named after a spy? He attained favors and pardons from no fewer than 3 queens just on charm alone. Fortunately, I only have his name, not his taste for intricacy. You laugh and then peer around the gallery. What of your parents, my grandparents? Your father sighs. My mother you met, my father. I prefer not to hang his portrait. He is the one who sent your mother away. But father, how could you let him do that? Why did you never try to find me? I mean, he didn't know till like a year ago. I'm not gonna say how could you let him do that, because it's not like he knew. Well, just why didn't you try to find me? I didn't know. Your mother never told me she was expecting, and I wish she had. But if you loved her... Your father looks at the floor. I had nothing of my own. By law, it was my father's right to decide what he would about my marriage. I searched for your mother at first, after he sent her away, but once I'd been forced to marry, I didn't think she wanted to hear from me. Your father reaches to take your hand in his. Take his hand. He's been nice. You will have your birthright now, Lady Cinderella of Edgewater. The eyes of all the portraits seem to stare down at you. And what exactly is that birthright, Father? What does it mean to be a lady of Edgewater? Your father looks thoughtful, following your gaze from one stern-faced ancestor to the next. To me, it means having a connection to the past, knowing that however far and strange history might seem, it is our ancestors, men and women just like you, and it seems trying our best to honor their legacy and maintain their good name. Have I never had a name to maintain besides my own? What does it mean to you, then, learning you are my daughter? What's important to me is having a family, getting wealth and power, improving my marriage prospects. having a family. Because, before that, I was going to be alone. Like, all my life, it was just me and my mother. To have a father now and a grandmother, that matters more to me than any title or fortune. I loved your mother, Cinderella, and to have you here brings that love back to life after 20 years of trying to hold it down. He embraces you, drawing your head against his shoulder. You learned about your family history from your father. Are there any other questions you have about your family? Before you can answer, the gallery doors flies open to reveal the Countess, listening on the other side. Countess? My lord! The Countess gives you a poisonous smile. Bitch! As I said before, we are so pleased to have you visit us, my dear. The Earl has always given great pain to do well by poor relations. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Lady Cinderella of Edgewater, but that's not what you said before. Oh, I should tell her. But, bitch, I'm a lady. Get to it. You hold the Countess's gaze with your own, refusing to back down. Her smile stiffens. Of course, Lady Cinderella. Quite a step up for a girl raised on, what was it, a pig farm? I just cannot recall. My mother and I lived in the village of Grover Shrine. She took in sewing for the local gentleman. Ah, sewing, of course. Bachelors do need to get their sewing done somewhere. What are you implying? Oh, come, my dear. You and my lord know very well the work your mother did. It's how you came to be, is it not? My lady, it seems we have some matters to discuss while Lady Cinderella gets settled. 'Cause, bitch, you better. The Countess turns to your father with wide, innocent eyes. Matters? Matters of hospitality and family. Of course. Cinderella, I'm sure this has been a long day for you. You may wish to go to your rooms to rest before dinner is called. You shut the door on your father and the Countess and let out a sigh. God, that's over. You turn to see Briar waiting for you at the top of the grand staircase, just as a lady's maid. Cinderella, they're giving me the position. The head housekeeper agreed to hire me as your lady's maid. £20 a year. Do you believe that? That would buy me enough coil to get Mom and Dad through the whole winter. Briar, I'm glad you're here with me. I'll never think of you as a servant. Oh, if you're my maid, do you have to do my bedding? Baby, I'm just glad you're here with me. You clasp Briar's hands in yours. I don't know what I would do without you here, Briar. Oh, get fat and rich and comfortable, I'm sure. It would be a torment without someone I can talk to. Briar's face falls as the two of you walk slowly down the hall and she lowers her voice. Then, is it so terrible here, your father? I thought he'd make you feel welcome. My father is all I could ever wanted. It's fine, but I have a wicked stepmother. Wants me to be Lady Cinderella. Do you believe it? That's what I wanted. He makes me feel like the true daughter of his heart. Oh, Cinderella, I'm so thrilled for you. Truly, it is what you deserve. My whole life, I thought my father was dead, and to have him now, I wouldn't care if he lived in a cottage in the furthest of Scotland. Although the manor house and the estate can't exactly hurt, no. Facts, girl. The house and the money doesn't hurt now. He glanced back at the grand staircase and tasteful paintings on the walls, and you both burst out laughing. Girl gives you a weary smile as she stops in front of your rooms. The servants all say Countess Harina will stop at nothing to see you gone. But what can she do to me? Surely it's my father's choice way to keep me here. Yes, but as a woman, you'll spend more time in the Countess's company. You'll need to join her and the neighboring ladies to play the pianoforte and do other arts. Oh, but I don't know how to do any of that. I always wanted to be an accomplished lady, but I don't know how to do none of that. I know how to sing, of course, and to sew, but for mending, not arts, and I've never had the fortune to touch an instrument in my life. The head housekeeper put an embroidered frame in your parlor for you to use, so you'll have a project to work on when the Countess calls you down tomorrow. Ooh, cute. Okay. Do I click on it or... Past the parlor, you walk into the chambers for the first time. You stop taking in the massive bed with bronze canopy and its silk drapes. How nice. I never thought to see... and I've never thought to have... What? And I never thought to even see a room this big. Is this all mine? Every bit of it. I have my own cot through the door there. You spin around, falling upon the down stuffed mattress with a luxury sigh. Brer lays next to you. Oh, I've never felt anything so soft in my life. Suddenly, a gong sounds from downstairs, and Brer jumps up in flurry. That's the dinner gong. Gracious live. We need to get you dressed and ready to make a good impression. Come to see the amazing dress your grandmother set up. Brer shows you an embroidered dress and a dark peach. Dempsey. Everyone will know you're a nobility now if you wear this. Okay? Okay, that's cute. Especially, with the hat and things. Let's see what else we got. Are those the only options we got right now? Okay, well, we're going to have to go with this because it's all I got. I'll be more comfortable in something less fancy. You still like nobility to me, Lady Cinderella. Change your mind. It's not too late to change your outfit. Just tap the clothes at last minute changes. You're fine. We're fine. You come down to dinner to find your father, your grandmother, and the Countess Henrietta already seated at the elegant dining table along with another noble man and woman. You bob a quick curtsy to everyone you know. Oh, girl, I'm struggling today. I'm trying to read this because I got to be to work in like 30 minutes. Father, Countess, Lady Grandmother, your stepmother gives you a grimace of distaste. You're late. My apologies, Countess. Cinderella, you should sit near me as the daughter of this house. Your stepmother looks like she wants to argue but holds her tongue. She nods sharply towards a seat next to a bored-looking young man. Young man nods a greeting while the woman sitting next to him stares curiously. Hey girl, she's pretty. My son, Mr. Edmund Marclaster? Your son? But Mr. Marclaster is the Countess's son from her first marriage. How many times has that hoe been married, and why did you marry her? A pleasure, Miss Duncan, yes. Lady Cinderella, it's nice to meet you. Edmund was barely more than a baby when his father died. The Earl is the only father he's ever known. The Countess nudges Mr. Marclaster under the table. He looks up confused. Yeah, I consider you my father by all ties of affection. Since our poor Harry passed on, Edmund has had it to feel in his role on the estate and in Earl's heart. We will all be so relieved when he finalizes his will to confirm Edmund as his heir. His heir? Brother, you're going to adopt her son? That makes sense. Is that even legal? No, for real, is that even legal? You know what? We're not even gonna give her the sense. You're gonna be like, you know what? That makes sense. Because we've literally only been here for like less than 24 hours. And, you've been with them forever. That makes sense. Yeah. He will need an heir. I'm sure Mr. Mulcaster is a worthy choice. Thank you. He has been a great help to me around the estate. Still, this is not his home, and it would pain us greatly to see Edgewater pass out of our direct bloodline. The tension is broken by a sudden giggle from the lady next to Mr. Mulcaster. Oh, that's the Earl's bastard. I just couldn't imagine who... The Countess shoots a look at her son, who gives the woman a pained smile. Yes, this is Miss Cinderella. Miss Cinderella, my fiancée, Miss Teresa Sutton. I look forward to greeting you, sister. Watch what you call me. Watch what you call me, ho. Do not refer to me as bastard again in my father's hearing. He deserves better respect than that. Oh, my word, is that true? Is it not, Mr. Mulcaster? That's all they're all saying. Lady Cinderella cannot be blamed for my youthful indiscretion. The table falls silent, and the servants clear the soup dishes and serve roasted potatoes and sharp cheese. So tell me about yourself, Miss Sutton. So tell me about yourself, Mr. Mulcaster. We don't care about that hoe. How are you, since you're gonna be our stepbrother and shit? Or you're technically our stepbrother. Whatever. Mr. Mulcaster looks startled to be spoken to directly, and you notice a glance to his mother for direction. Nigga, you don't know nothing about yourself? Edmund is an excellent hunter. Why, it is his vision that the cooks have prepared for us tonight. I am at my happiest when hunting. I can hardly wait until Groose? Is that what that says? Groose season begins? What the hell is that? Edmund is also quite the scholar. I know the Earl has found him indispensable in accounting the rents. We were short last quarter. I'll try to correct that. Silence descends again. Miss Sutton giggles nervously. Do tell us about yourself, lady. Mr. Mulcaster tells me that you come from a country village on a pig farm. What is it like to grow up in such small circumstances? Actually, I didn't grow up on a pig farm. My village was small, but my people were generous and kind. I much prefer life at Edgewater. My village was small, but the people were generous and kind. It would do many of the gentry, some people, to spend time in an honest English village. It amazes me sometimes how those who have so little can be so giving, while those blessed with so much can cling to it like miseries. I have often thought the same. Beach. You take a bite of the venison, and for a moment, the tension lifts as everyone devotes themselves to eating. 2 hours later, after dinner finally ends, you flee outside and lean against the side of the house, taking in a cool, damp night air. I don't know if I can do that every night. No, dead ass, because y'all gonna have to fight me. You give into temptation and hit your skirter, running onto the grounds. Your skirt twirl around your legs, and you smell the sweetness of the flowers. Ooh, are we gonna go to see the stable, boy? As you draw near the stables, you hear a voice murmuring in the thing. Shh, Lovely, you're getting better. There, doesn't that feel nice? Who's in there? You walk inside and see the dark form of a man, dressed like a groom. He's kneeling in dusk, wrapping a bandage around a horse's knee. Oh my God. The man stands and you see that he carries himself with a soldier's bearing. He clunks his tongue and the horses gingerly put his foot down. It is him. Good evening, sir. You're a delight to the eyes. You have a kind way with animals. We'll start like that. What is the beautiful girl's name? Why? Why? She has no name that I have given, but I call her Clover for her favorite feed. He pulls the horse's leg up again to check the bandage, and you reach out a hand to stroke Clover's velvety nose. And I'm Luke Harper, master of horse here at Edgewater. Hey, Luke. He turns to give you his full attention. There, now we can talk normally. The horse puts her leg down and then pulls it up again with a snort of pain. Oh, what happened to her leg? Clover here stumped in a growler's hole last week and wrenched her knee. The accountant thinks the knee won't recover and will need to get rid of her, but I had a lot of luck working with these kind of injuries in the war. Mr. Harper, you were a soldier. Which war? You're a soldier. I was a lieutenant in the Navy under Admiral Cochrane in 1812 in America. I was shipped aboard in the Chesapeake most of that time, but when we marched on Washington, I was the one they sent to treat the horses we captured. A horse is loyal and kind and won't turn on you for his own gain. I'll take them over man any day. I would take over Superman too. I wonder how you feel about a lady. Wish more people were like that. And how do you feel about a lady? Mr. Harper's breath catches you as you glance at him and then away. A lady doesn't normally give that time of day to a man like me. Not all ladies are the same, you know. No, you, for example, are an ocean breeze, while the countenance is a whiff of stale perfume. Mr. Harper gives you a weary smile. I'm sure she has no warmth to offer a stepdaughter who looks like you. She all but called me a mongrel to my face. I've been on the receiving end of her sharp tongue myself. I understand how it can be. I can't stand her. Thought my face would crack from forcing a smile. I thought my face would crack from the way I had to force a smile. That's the way to fight her. All smiles and compliments. You got the right of it. Oh, I'll kill her with kindness. She looks at me and sees only my mother's low birth. She has no compassion for those beneath her. And I am not beneath her. Harper smiles fiercely. Not in the least. The Countess wasn't born to a title herself, you know. She made her fortune off the death of her first husband and used it to convince your grandfather to make a match with the Earl. While Harry gone, she would not stop until she secures Edgewater and its title to Mr. Malcaster. And she'll always see me as an obstacle. Mr. Harper waves a hand towards the doorway. If you're more frustrated to work out, I can take you riding. I've got a few horses that need exercise. He leads you out a matching pair of dappled gray mares. Oh, you are eager, aren't you? You stroke the horse's long nose. Nothing clears the mind like a good midnight gallop. A midnight ride with you. It would quite scandalize the Countess, would it not? It would at all. And give you a chance to see the rest of your new home. The horses nudge you with their head. Oh, I would love to. However, I don't have the gems for it right now, sir. So, next time. I think it's best I get some rest tonight. Who knows what tomorrow will bring. I understand, my lady. I'm certain we will have a chance to ride together again in the daylight hours. You come in from the stables breathing freely for the first time, only to see Countess Harina on her way up the grand staircase. She sniffs. You smell like the stables, girl. I expect you to bathe and be presentable tomorrow morning. I won't have you embarrassing this family. Why? What's happening tomorrow? Oh, just our usual sewing circle. A few of the ladies from the neighboring estate will be coming to have a look at you. Oh, I shall quite look forward to meeting them. The Countess takes a step towards you and lowers her voice to a hiss. Do not think your novelty value will secure you a home on this estate, Lady Cinderella. I just have to wait for my husband to tire of you, and you'll be back out on the streets. My father wouldn't do that. Then I'll have to show him that a girl like you will never fit in here. She takes a step back and smiles. Good night, dear. The ladies will expect you promptly at 10. We cannot wait to see all of your accomplishments. The Countess sweeps up the stairs, leaving you standing below. Accomplishments? All right, guys. Well, that's all that I have for you today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more, of course. We'll be back with more of Desire and Decorum because, again, my episodes is not working, but hopefully by next week we'll be back. But other than that, guys, I do hope you like the story. If you guys want me to read any other choices stories, we can do that. Switch it up a little bit, change up the channel anyway. But anyway, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Our little secret. You know I'll keep it.